In the past, I used to wonder, what's your role in this Christian thing? And it's not salvation, right? But you still can participate in the Christian experience, I guess. I kind of don't like calling it that, but it is that, you know. And I think it's part of just being righteous, practicing righteousness. Your righteousness is not the thing that gets you into God's good graces. He is already in your good graces. But you can participate in being an honorable person due to your status as a saved person, as a person redeemed by the blood of Christ. And so you get to participate by honoring and being a loving and righteous person. So let me just tell you about something that I praise God for. I was making a purchase, right? And I thought about it. I was trying to factor out the stuff in my mind about how I was going to spend it. So I figured it out. Went to this cashier. Cashier, man, whew, something was getting at this cashier. She was not a happy person that day. And so I noticed it, and she was very visible with her frustrations that I was directly tied to. And I got upset at first, but then I made a consideration, let me not do this. And if anybody knows me personally, it's hard for me to control myself, or at least control my anger when it's directly tied to me. I've been pretty good in the past where I'm like, just generally keep yourself even cool, but this was new for me personally. And as I've gained a better appreciation for my faith recently, I've made a conscious effort, and it's not just like a conscious effort, it's more so I can't even really describe how I took captive of that thought I was having. Because I was feeling really like, yo, they give it to me, I give it right back. I'm like, let me not do this. And I calmed down, and then I just said, God bless. I didn't say it to her face, I just said it as I was leaving. And I wasn't being snarky or nothing. I said, God bless. I don't know what was going on with her. I don't know. And I prayed for her after, but I was so overjoyed, because I was like, yo, I would have never did that in the past. I probably would have stewed over it the next day. Probably would have stewed over it right now, but I didn't. So I was like, wow, I am changing. That's crazy. That's really crazy. Again, if anybody knows me, if I top loads off, it's blowing off for a good hour and a half. And it wasn't. All this work, in addition to just the believing in the faith, it's just, man, so much work has been done. So I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful for the work. I'm so thankful, man. Like, man. And so I just feel like, man, the work of Christ, man, it's just like, it's amazing. It's beautiful. You're encouraged to love your enemies, and also you're encouraged to just not let it affect you. Like, recently I had to change the way I was thinking, and I was watching this video. I can't remember particularly what it was about, but it really kind of helped me change the way I was thinking, because I had certain thoughts, and I'm like, man, and that's what happened. I eventually tried to square it away with a friend, try to reconcile, and just because even I watched another video, and it reminded me of, like, it reminded me of this person, and this person, it was on a show I watched, and this person was really, like, I guess trying to force somebody to change faster than that person was willing to, and it made me feel personally convicted. So I'm like, and it made, like, I had a criticism, because I was like, yo, that person's gonna only grow when they're ready, and it's not up to my timeline to get them to change. And also, if I wasn't happy with their timeline to change, I didn't have to be around them. That's their trajectory, there's their path or journey. But I mean, it really made me consider that. So it's like, I don't know, lately, well, throughout these entire, like, what can I say, 7 years, maybe 6 years, it's been since 2019. I've been working on myself a whole lot, so it's been really crazy, the transformation, because since when's 2019, I think 6 years ago, bro, I was a completely different person. Man. People may not notice, but, like, dude, I was. really thugging it out. Let's just see that. You know. So I'm so thankful that I became somebody who wasn't so, you know, volatile's a word, but volatile is how I describe. I wish I could like tell people what that meant, like the reason why I'm using the word, because that's kind of like the best way I can describe. Kind of like, you know, like those volatile warning signs, like, hey, don't touch it, otherwise you get shot. It's kind of like that, man. You know. But I've changed so much, and plus I've been hitting it. I've been going to the military, so I've been like, you know, I gotta lock in and really just be resilient, man. I can't be out here being easily befuddled, you know. It's gonna be tough. They say, well, Air Force the easiest thing, whatever. I'm like, that's kind of irrelevant for me. I'm a civilian, so I'm like, well, I'm no longer a civilian. I'm enlisted, but like, you know, I can't be just constantly affected by people, you know. Like I have to be mentally resilient to be there, you know. And there might be some good people I've met, a few good people I met, a few people who are not so good, you know. But they have their own perspectives, and I just, you know, I can't let that affect me, you know. So I don't know, man. I personally think God's got me on this perspective, this journey, this trajectory, you know, to better my life, you know, and also just lead me to a good place where maybe I could down the line help somebody. But that's my personal beliefs about it. You know, I definitely do think God's got me on this path. You know, hopefully I could be a blessing to people around me wherever I'm at. You know, but yeah, man. I personally think in terms of the Christian walk, your what you call it, your responsibility is to honor being righteous to people around you. You know, and I think it's tough, at least in my opinion, with the Christian walk. Like, I feel like compared to other religions, be like, dang, what do I do? Because like the thing that gets you in God's favor is generally like the goal. Be in this deity's favor, or go pray a few times, or go to this place and do this ceremony, this ritual, and then your God is pleased, and then it'll give you good fortune. You know, but it's like Christ doesn't need any of that. You don't need to do a new moon ceremony. You don't need to do a ritual. But you do need to honor your neighbor. You know, love your neighbor, and that's why nobility and honor is such a big thing to me. But I think God's kind of really helping me understand better about just being a better person about it. You know, just like responding in a very loving way, even if it's how can I describe it? Even when being loving is not something that you think in a human sense they deserve. You know, I've won people over with love. And I've had a hard time because I've been like, yo, that just takes so much longer. And it does. But I think, you know, with the Christian argument, you're not feeling like the worst about it. You're not like, dang, I don't want to be nice to him because it don't feel worth it. And that's fair, man. Especially from a human perspective, yeah, it don't feel worth it to love people who are nasty to you. And you're not supposed to honor unrighteousness either. But at the same time, you know, you can still be a Christian and love people because God loved you and He loves you and He keeps showing you His kindness. And so by proxy, you can love people too. You know, it's not always because of people. You know, people aren't always going to be very loving. But you can, as a Christian, honor the requests and commandments of your Father in heaven. You can love people, you know? And it's not easy. People can be so messy, man. They can be so hard to love. But, you know, you can love them for that time that you're around them, you know? And there's no encouragement to be around dishonorable, abusive, I kind of hate to say it like that, but like, you know, people who take advantage of you, the Bible doesn't really encourage that. They say if there's folks that's out here trying to encourage unrighteousness, some of these folks you should just you shouldn't eat with them. Meaning you don't have to keep your company with them if they're out here trying to take advantage of people, take advantage of you, lead you into unrighteousness, you know, trying to take your money, you know, like. And I'm glad that there's in the scriptures to teach you, like, you're not you are called to love people, but you're called to be pretty wise with who you're around. You're not supposed to encourage unrighteousness. So this is just me starting off. I can't tell you a full thing about it because I'm not super adept at being like very, very wholesomely kind. I know some people like that, but I'm not. I'm still trying to grow. And people who've met me and been around me will be like, "Oh, you're so nice." I'm like, "Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm nice around people who are pretty generally nice, and I try to be nice around difficult people." But that's God's working on me. Let's just say that He's working on me, and it's working. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing changes. Oh, sorry. If there's something else, I'll break that into another video. So that's it.